Hey everybody, this is Coach Tara, the Mind Reset Coach, coming to you out of my home office here in Holiday, Florida. And I wanted to do a video today. I recently repartnered with Empower Network, and one thing that I did not do the other two times I joined was the one thing that absolutely must be. And I want to share with you something. So basically what I did is I committed to making sure that I sat down, no matter how smart I think I am, or how good at marketing I think I am, or how long I've been doing this, is to sit down and go through the training one by one and to demonstrate the commitment to myself. I choose something in the training that is compelling and profound. Not the whole thing. I'm not going to give you the whole thing. But something in each training that I want to share with you. Okay, this is for both of us. This is going to help you, and it's also going to help me. Okay, so I've already done the first intro video, and I wrote a blog about it. I'll put that link in the description below. This video also will be on my blog because I'm going to use the platform, right, to make sure I have my juice on there. So this was core commitment number 1, and it's all about getting all in. And I'm not going to discuss everything that he taught. I am not going to do that. I am going to tell you about a story that he said in the video that really hit home for me, and you may have heard a story similar to it. However, you can never hear this kind of story too much. Okay? He tells a story. He grew up in Alaska, and he tells a story about how bears sometimes would come to town. Now, in Alaska, you know, you have grizzly, Klondike, and polar bears. And it can be pretty dangerous, especially with the grizzly bear, because they start getting used to people. They start going through garbage and whatnot. And generally, when that happened, this one particular story revolves around one bear. They captured the bear instead of killing the bear, and they put him in a cage, 10 by 10. Okay? And as you can imagine, now imagine yourself as the bear. You're wild, you're free, you're able to go where you want, you're able to move your body the way it was made to be moved, you're able to do what it is you were built for. Your whole existence is all about being right now in your person, in yourself, and you're wild and you're free. And you get captured. Okay, you're looking for food, you're on the hunt and you're looking for food, and you come across, you're walking through the woods and you come across a town, and you're like, and there's food readily available right outside people's houses in these containers. And you go into the town and you start going through the containers looking for the food because you can smell it, because you've got a really long snout and your nostril cavity is huge, and you could totally know there's food in there. And you start getting really comfortable around people, around a species that's extremely dangerous. And there you are going through these containers outside of these other creatures' homes and discovering food. And one day you get captured and you're raging and you're angry and you are just unbelievable. You're imprisoned. Okay? Nothing that you ever could do before can be done again. You go through all sorts of feelings and emotions and anger and distrust and regret. Okay? There you are in a 10 by 10 cage, and you're raging against the machine. You're banging on the windows, you're banging on the doors. Imagine this is you, maybe in your teenage years. You start feeling the walls of conformity coming down around you, and you start banging away, and you start doing things people say aren't good to do, and you, just because they say it, you start resisting every aspect of your capture. And eventually you notice, you start to realize that every day at 3 p.m. somebody opens a slot in the door and puts through a fantastic meal. And you're a bear, right? And it's red meat, and it's raw, and it's bloody, and it's awesome, and it's all ready for you to go. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to run around looking for it. All you gotta do is eat it. Now this starts happening as you start leaving your teenage years and you start moving into go to school, get a good education mode. And then it starts to develop even more and more and more. And eventually you just stop raging against the walls around you, against your cage. You stop rattling the bars. You stop worrying about it because you know no matter what, at 3 o'clock the next day, you're going to get the meat. Okay, you're going to get a little piece of the freedom you once knew without all that hard work that came with the freedom. And that's what we call complacency, right? So here you are, and you're just chilling out, and you're just like, oh, I'll just make the best of this, you know, and you just got to stretch your body out a little bit, and you lean back, and you take some naps, you know. Maybe you just, sit around, look at the walls, and count the holes in the ceiling, because there's some sort of like those little acoustic tiles, and you're just sitting there. I remember this as a kid, doing that and wanting to rage, but not doing it. And just sitting there, and you look at the bars, maybe you count how many bars there are. And, around 2:45, you start getting up, you start, oh, yeah, stretch the body a little bit. You're like, oh, yeah, oh. You check at your furry watch, and you're like, yep, 3 o'clock's on the way. And 3 o'clock comes, and the slot opens in the door, and you go over to it, you pick up the meat, you go back, sit down, and you eat it. And this goes on and goes on and on. And this is symbolic of the time that you spend just looking for that little piece of meat on Friday, paycheck day, whatever day is your payday. Because all you got to do is stay in the box, and at 3 o'clock or on Friday, the meat's going to show up. The symbolism of your freedom is going to show up, and it's going to give you a little taste. Not a lot. And you certainly don't have to physically exert yourself or attach much emotion to it. And you certainly don't have to worry, because it's become fact for you. As long as I stay in that box, at 3 o'clock is payday. So as a human being, as long as you stay in that box every 2 weeks or every week or once a month, depending on the type of career you're in, you've got your payday. And as long as you stay within the guidelines inside this little box, everything's going to be all right. And you know that you can count on that, and boom. You've become so complacent, you forget about running. You forget about moving around. You forget about breaking free and getting into trouble and experiencing a little danger and experiencing really great moments. You just no longer care as long as you get paid at the specific time you're supposed to get paid. Now say here you are in this box, and you've been complacent for years now. Maybe you've been in that box for a while. And let's go outside that box a little bit. And there's a caretaker there, right? Like, he's thinking, you know what? I bet you we could lift that cage up, and that bear would be just fine and could handle being around us, no problem, and it would be great. Wouldn't it be great? A couple people are like, yeah, I don't think you want to let that out of the box. That's a big animal. I don't want to be around when that happens, right? So the guy, the caretaker, he decides to wait until everybody goes home, and he decides to lift the box. And he gets the crane, because you're like in a room, like imagine that show Blacklist, where the bad guy's in the middle of the room, or like Hannibal, you're in the middle of the room in a box, and there's a room around you, and the cage lifts up, and here you are, the bear, and you're just like, you look down at your furry watch, and it's hours away from 3 o'clock. You don't get one single shit about nothing. You're just like, you're taking a little notice that things have changed a little bit, but not much is going on. So the caretaker is like, what the heck? The guy, it's not even getting up to explore the room. it doesn't even have the motivation left in its body and its soul to even get up and explore the rest of the room outside of where the box was. So he goes into the food locker and he grabs a turkey and one they had been defrosting for the next day, and takes the turkey and puts it about 5 feet outside of where the walls of the original box or cage existed. Just about 5 feet outside of that. See if you get the bear to come out and explore the rest of the room. So here you are, you're the bear, and you're like, oh, well, maybe I'll get up a little bit. You have those big nostril glands. I call them orolfactory. I can't tell you I don't know the name. But the nose is big and all that scent can come up in there. And he's like, that is pretty interesting. Let me get up. Oh, stretch the body. Stretch the body. Ooh, gee. Get up. And the bear walks over to the edge of where the old cage would have been if the box was still over him. Looks at the turkey, looks at the space in front of him where the box would be, or the cage would be, and decides, better play it safe and stay put. Better play it safe, because it's just about 6 hours till 2 o'clock, and that turkey's going to be in this box with me, and I know it. And I don't have to worry about shit. So instead of walking just outside that line, I mean, the box isn't even stopping him physically anymore. He decides to lie down and take a nap. Right there where the cage would go back down and cover him. Moral of the story is, guys, that guaranteed payday doesn't exist anymore. That dream that was sold to somebody back in the 50s, it's not real. You may feel trapped and contained like I did, where you had these things that were happening in your life that you had to be sure you were at that job, and it keeps you there. Whenever you think of stepping outside that box, it's like a little electric shock. But those dreams, they're just not true. All the wealthy people in the world, I see a lot of people raging against the wealthy people, and at one point I can understand. There are some assholes, but there's asshole poor people too. Really, there are. Trust me. The people that really are successful. Let's take money out of the equation, so I can reach the people that have a resistance to that. The people that are successful and abundant and live life with smiles on their faces and move around and do what they love. I knew my dog was outside. Move around and do what they love with a big smile on their face, even if they don't have the finest clothes, or maybe they do, or whatever it is. Those people that are doing that are living fully in their splendor and their wild selves, they're not doing it for a paycheck. Okay? The people that are doing it for a paycheck are the people that hate it. The people that are doing it, that do what they love, they don't do it for a paycheck. If they have to sacrifice something that you feel is a necessity to become the happiness and become the free wild thing they really are, they will. And they don't regret it. And generally, they end up financially successful or abundant in our 3D world. Generally, they're the ones that succeed. So, when you're thinking about yourself right now, and you're thinking about whatever, the dreams that you have and the experiences you want to experience, ask yourself, did they lift the cage? Because really the guy outside the cage that lifts the cage up, it's really you. Okay? You have what it takes to be and feel and do and possess and lose anything you want. And 3 o'clock's a fantasy that never really truly existed. Not for anybody. When's the last time you heard of somebody that worked at that job for 40 years? The smallest percentage of the population, I swear. They may work at that career for 40 years, but not that job. So there is bigger than just payday. There's bigger than just naps and stretches. There's a whole giant world out there that you can fulfill yourself with. That's what it's there for. That's why you're here. So I encourage you today to go out there, crank up that cage, and don't wait for 3 o'clock to go get your turkey. Okay? It's all up to you. I love you all very much. This is Coach Tara Woodruff, the Mind Reset Coach. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. And that would be core commitment number 1. Get all in your life, okay? Do it. Do it now. If you have any other further questions, don't forget, I'm going to put a link below, the first link in the description box. Or if you're on my blog, you'll be able to go to the call of action right underneath the blog post and click on there, and we can talk. We can talk, because I can help you make a big change in your life. I can help you be more, feel more, do more for you. For you. Okay? Love you all a long time. This is Coach Tara, the Mind Reset Coach, signing out. Peace.